Chapter 10, The Joyous Gard. Stare at Lancelot, unable to reconcile his insistence that nothing can happen between you with the glimpse that you just caught of a tortured night in your chambers. Lancelot, he was... I cannot fight this any longer. I cannot fight myself any longer. Your Highness, are you well? You trail off, your head still spinning from what you've just seen, but Lancelot's gaze narrows at once. Have you seen or had another vision? Yes. I saw you. He cuts you off before you can speak another word. I do not wish to know my future. Why not? I know you think your visions are inevitable, but I do not, and I cannot. If they are, what would be the point of fighting to change any of our fates? The point is knowing all that you need to fight the vision. More information is not always a boon. I've shared details of Camelot's downfall, your death. What knowledge could possibly be worse? Lancelot stares at you for an endless moment before turning away, and you barely catch his muttered reply. Learning of a future I do not wish to fight. The tension of the moment finally snaps as Lancelot's eyes. It is not safe to linger on the road any longer. I want you to safe at Joyous Gard. With effortless grace, Lancelot swings back into the saddle with you and urges Shadow to gallop. You cling to his belt, more uncertain than ever what your latest vision could mean. Except this is all more complicated than I could have imagined. Like a high school drama! Before long, you arrive at a remote but well-fortified castle. An excellent, excited cry goes up as you approach, and servants and guards rush out to greet you. Welcome home, my lord. Crispin, how's the knee healing? Oh, well enough to keep up with the likes of you. An older woman nudges her way through the crowd and plants her fists on her hips, pinning Lancelot with a stern look. Sir Lancelot, I see you've come home injured again. Again? Just a scratch this time, Emma, I promise. And now, here you are keeping the princess sitting in the saddle at that terrible journey, as if none of us taught you better. My apologies, madame. Lancelot leaps out of the saddle and reaches up to help you down, bowing gallantly both to you and Emma, who finally cracks a fond smile. Oh, you impossible boy. With a wide smile, Lancelot bends to embrace the older woman and kisses her on the cheek. Then the knight straightens and turns to you. Princess Guinevere, let me introduce you to the true rulers of Joyous Gard, my steward Emma, Crispin, and captain of the guard. It's a pleasure to meet you both. Emma curtsies gracefully to you as Crispin bows. An honor to have you here, your highness. You are welcome at Joyous Gard. As soon as the lookout spotted you, I sent the girls to prepare a guest room for you. Has there been any word from Camelot, Crispin? None, my lord. I hope Arthur is all right. I'm sure he is, and you will be too. Joyous Gard may not be as grand as Camelot, but it is a safe place to rest, your highness. I feel quite safe with such loyal retainers. Crispin stands up straight and claps a fist to his heart. You are, your highness. All of us would fight for you to the last person. Yes, soldiers and your dramaticos, but you are safe here, your highness. Emma gives Lancelot a stern look. Though you'd be safer inside the castle. Yes, it's time I escort the princess inside. We can discuss any matters that need my attention later. Lancelot offers you his arm and escorts you through the Joyous Gard's gates into the courtyard. It is modest compared to the mighty castle of Camelot, or even your own birthplace, but it feels warm and welcoming as you step inside. Your home is beautiful. It may not be as grand as some you've seen, but it suits me. I hope you'll be comfortable here and treat the castle as your own. I'm sure it will be perfect. Lancelot catches the eye of a nearby maid, and after a few whispered words, the maid darts inside ahead of you as Lancelot leads you through a pair of double doors. Fabric drapes various tables, and the maid finishes hanging up a gorgeous dress next to a changing scene. I know that we have been long on the road, so I thought you might like to change into something more befitting of a princess. You run a hand across the fabric, taking in the emblems and patterns. Are these the colors of the estate? Yes. I believe Emma originally had it made for the lady of the castle. Was there a lady of the castle? Much to Emma's internal regret and impatience, no. I think she continues to hope one might wander along, but in the meantime, perhaps the dress will suit you. You can feel his gaze on you as you trace your fingers along the lush fabric. I will give you a moment of privacy while I change into something more suited for home as well. Lady of the Guard. Looks pretty. Not long after you put on the dress, Lancelot knocks and re-enters the room. What do you think? Does it suit me? Surprise and wonder flash across his face. For a moment, he seems about to reach for you, but then he nods and hands relax at his sides. You would honor any colors you wore, Your Highness. That isn't quite what I had asked. Then consider me honored that you, for the brief time, you've chosen to wear mine. Though Lancelot's words are light, his gaze steals back to you as you turn towards the hallway, as if he can't quite believe his eyes. Since you wish for me to treat the castle as if it were my own, I should know my way around it. Are you asking for a tour? I was hinting quite strongly, yes. It would be my pleasure to show you my home. As he guides you deeper into the castle, you're greeted by grinning servants. Soups are already simmering, my dear. I set it up just for you. I can only wait, thank you. Is this a special kind of soup? A favorite of mine, you'll find out soon. Why soon enough? Sir Lancelot, can we play knights again? Mama said I could ask. Only if you let your sister play too, Robbie. But she always wins. Losing graciously is an important lesson for any knight, as is being being kind to your younger sisters. Oh, fine. You managed to hold in laughter until the young boy has stormed away. So, knights protect kittens and younger sisters. Truth be told, young Cat does not need much protecting. The one time Gawain agreed to play knights with her, she routed him quite adeptly. Your people seem to care deeply for you. I hope so. I'm not here as often as I should be to offer them safety and security. Two teenage girls go racing down the hallway past you, stopping only long enough to drop giggling curtsies and before tearing off again. They seem to feel quite secure, nonetheless. I hope you will feel the same. He pushes open one door along the upper hallway and beckons you inside, looking somewhat self-conscious. I know it is not much, but I hope these quarters will do for your time here. Your room is warm, comfortable, though sparse. The air smells of fresh polish, and the surfaces are recently dusted, and there are a few personal touches to it. Quiet lingers in the room beyond the crackling of a hearth. I wonder how long it has been since someone stayed here as his guest. I have to admit, the accommodations are lovely. I suspect you're being too kind. Would I lie to you, Sir Lancelot? To be polite, almost certainly. And here I hoped you thought highly of me. I do, so if you would like to offer your highly regarded advice on decorating the room... Is this another quest? A fearsome one that has clearly already defeated me. Your room is fine, Sir Lancelot. Truly, I'm sure I shall be quite comfortable here. Then I am relieved to be fulfilling my duty as your host. He leads you back through the halls, and you fall in beside him. I must admit it has been a long time since anyone stayed in these rooms. I am not often at home, and even when I am, well, I rarely have visitors. Then I am honored to be one of your rare guests. The honor is mine. I will see to it that the staff tend to your every need as if they were my own. Is that what the legendary soup is about? Yes. The cook will send you a bowl as soon as it is finished. She always prepares it for me when I've been on the road. It tastes like... precisely. As he speaks, you spot a large door sitting slightly ajar, its decoration indicating it clearly leads to somewhere important. Lancelot waves you past. That is not... You duck under his arm and peek inside to see a large bedroom. Important. Is this your room? Yes. You stare at it, an odd ache in your chest. Though the room is quite large, the furnishings themselves are simple. A sturdy bed, a simple table with a stack of books. The rugs are thick but worn, and only other piece of furniture is a sturdy chair in front of the fire. It's so... sparse. I warned you this room had no significance. And yet, with a single glance, I've learned something important. I hesitate to ask what. I've learned that... I'm gonna joke. The great Lancelot's room has much in common with a bear's cave. Having spent nights in a bear's cave, I would say my room has more amenities like a chair. You're not helping your case. I'm not often here, so it seems a waste to fill it with things no one will ever enjoy. All I hear is you trying to rationalize yourself out of the obvious. Fine, I yield. My room is as barren as a bear's den. I promise to keep your secret. It's because I can honestly say, as a guy who lives like him, it's just simple. It really is. Lancelot closes his bedroom door firmly, and you continue on deeper into the castle. No need for materialistic bullshit. Seriously, I yearn for something far more. After a walk through the courtyard, you reach a room that is part smithy and part trophy hall. Banners, shields line the walls, and weapons sit on display beside a forge. This is where I spend most of my time. And where you put all the decorations. What is all this? The fruits of my travels. Many of the weapons were surrendered by knights I defeated, but some I've made myself. You make weapons? I cannot say that I am an expert. Joyous Gard is a master blacksmith who has taught me much, but if I may be forgiven a boast, I am not bad at it. I'm afraid I cannot forgive you unless you boast more forcefully. Pretend you're Sir Gawain. Then I am a weaponsmith of unparalleled skill and vision. Ah, much better. I would like to see you working on a sword. Give me a demonstration of your vaunting smithing skills. Are you sure? It's been a long ride. You must be tired. I keep telling you that I'm neither frail nor fragile, but if you're tired too... Not at all, as it happens. I have a blade to work on now. He strides to the anvil and strips off his shirt. He moves confidently to the forge and begins to stoke the fire. Giggity. A sword sits nearby and he picks it up and examines it. This just needs a few finishing touches. He stokes the fire hotter before thrusting the sword into it. The metal begins to heat, the color slowly changing. What about the banners and shields in here? Were those captured from other knights too? Most came from battles defending the kingdom in the earliest days with Arthur. There were many petty tyrants who thought power was something you seized so you could do as you wish. For a while it seemed every time we turned around, another would-be ruler had risen. You take in the many trophies, each a reminder of a battle Lancelot has fought. But this is so much fighting. The stories I always hear are more glorious quests and grand adventures. Living constantly at war seems so heartbreaking. It is, princess. Do not let the stories tell you otherwise. War is terrible. It means death. Soldiers, farmers, townsfolk, people who should be allowed to live peacefully gone. Lancelot pulls the bright orange sword from the fire and places it in the anvil, his muscled arms flexing as he begins to hammer it. But if I can issue a challenge, When it is two knights on the field of honor, our blood instead of the blood of hundreds or thousands, that is worth the danger every time. But it is still your blood, and I have seen your scars. You have bled often. You bled yesterday for me. And I will again. This is my duty. This is my dream. Your dream of endless battles and violence? No. A dream of the Round Table, a realm, and Arthur's vision of peace. Don't you have any other dreams? There's a long pause while the hammer falls against the sword, sending sparks flying. Not until recently. And what is this new dream of yours? This time the pause is even longer. He lifts the sword and thrusts it into the quenching bath, where it hisses and steams. Lancelot's gaze meets yours, and for a moment you think he will say something serious, and then he smiles. I suppose I dream of decorating my castle, so it will be not to offend you next time. He pulls the sword from the water, and you both admire the shining steel for a moment, before he sets it aside, wiping the sweat from his brow. I think it is time for some training before the evening meal. Even after a day's ride? Even when you're still wounded? It helps me relax, and I will not push too far. I know my limits, Your Highness. You think you estimate your limit to be 1 foot in the grave? I promise to keep my feet out of any graves today. I hope you will too. If you to do the same and rest, your meal should be in your room soon. What makes you think that's how I relax? Perhaps I should train alongside you. If you would like to, Your Highness, I will show you what fighting techniques I can. You see the surprise on his face giving way to a flash of curiosity. You can see all of him quite clearly in such a tight space, and with both of you feeling the heat of the forge, and for a moment you sense Lancelot's restraint weakening. This would be one way to get past those walls of his. He can't avoid me if we're sparring in close quarters. Teach me to fight. After that attack on Camelot, I would like to better equipped to defend myself. Of course, but I hope you know that Arthur and I would never let any harm befall you, our duty. It is not always about your duty, Sir Lancelot. What about my duty to myself? I dislike the idea of always waiting to be saved. Sometimes a princess must rescue herself. Well then, I cannot deny you this opportunity. The two of you move away from the forge towards the part of the room with a little more space, but is still crowded with tools and weapons. We're to train right here? Of course. A knight must be able to handle themselves in a fight no matter where it happens, and it won't often be in a neat, tidy training ground. I see. So this is your secret? One of them. The next key to fighting is preparation. You must hone your reflexes, train yourself to avoid distractions. There are certainly a lot of does here. Indeed. And they are vital to the third lesson, the most important, knowing how to use every tool around you to your advantage. Every tool? Within the bounds of chivalry, of course. Lancelot retrieves a pair of blunted, practiced swords and hands one to you. With the other, he demonstrates the proper grip. This is how you hold a sword. A little below the guard, so there is room to move. With your fingers tight, but your wrist loose. You grip the sword easily, swinging it through the air, and raise a challenging eyebrow at Lancelot. Beautiful. You are a quick study, Princess. I know. With the basics covered, Lancelot quickly shows you a basic strike and block, and then grins at you. Now tell me, Princess, do you want to attack or defend? I want to defend. You lift your sword to match him, smiling in challenge. Do your worst, Sir Lancelot. As you wish, Princess. Now block! Your practiced sword clashes together. You feel Lancelot's controlled strength. For several heartbeats, you stay locked together. The moment oddly intimate before Lancelot disentangles your blades and springs back. How was that? Suspiciously adept. Are you sure you have no prior training? I must simply be a prodigy. Considering your numerous talents, I believe it. But natural skill will only get you so far. It will get me far enough to impress you. In that case, block! Lift your sword in time to block another elegant strike. Beautiful. Me or the blocking? Seriously. A weapon cabinet looms behind him, and you follow up with a powerful strike. Backing him against it, you freeze, both of you breathing hard, your swords crossed and your bodies close. You seem to have me at a disadvantage. Do you yield, then? Not yet. In a smooth move, Lancelot twists his sword and slides yours away, spinning you both until your back hits the cabinet with a soft thump. Then he smiles and springs back. So am I to gather you're tired of defending? A knight should be prepared for anything. They should indeed. And without another word, Lancelot lunges at you again. Block! You get your sword up in time to knock his away. For several minutes there is only a heart-pounding adrenaline of the bout, and Lancelot calling for you to block or strike as you clash across the room, all too often ending up in close quarters. This is a dangerous game considering the vision I had. But you're starting to get the sense of the room, and the next time Lancelot tries to maneuver to the right, you know that his goal is to trap you against the weapons rack. Oh, no you don't. Step in close to distract. As he lifts his practice sword, you step swiftly inside his guard, pressing so close that your chest brushes his. Your Highness. Oh, hello, Sir Lancelot. You're both breathing hard, barely a hand's span separates your faces. Lancelot stares down into your eyes, something dangerous and barely controlled royals just beneath that carefully controlled surface. What are you doing? With a swift twist of your hand, you knock Lancelot's sword free of his hand, and spring back, holding both practice swords triumphantly. Using every tool at my disposal. Masterfully done, Your Highness. I thought so. You extend one of the practice blades towards him, about to press for a surrender when he reaches out with his bare hand spinning to pin your wrists to the wall in a gentle but inescapable grip. As your back hits the wall, you catch your breath, the rest of the room fading away as Lancelot gazes down at you. Do you yield, Princess? I'm going for pressing the attack even more. Giving into the moment, you tilt your chin up until your lips are almost brushing his. I never yield. Before he can respond, you're kissing him. If the kiss last night was embers slowly building into flames, this one is ablaze in an instant. Distantly, you hear the practice swords clatter to the floor, then Lancelot's fingers are tracing the curve of your jaw, tilting your head back. Princess. The word is a groan against your lips, a curse, a vow, and then he kisses you. Open mouth and haunt, and desperate enough to curl your toes as he presses you back against the wall, somehow trapping and sheltering you at the same time. Oh. The world melts away. So do thoughts of assassins, your wedding, visions of doom. There's nothing in this moment but Lancelot and the way he holds you, as if you are precious. The way he kisses you, as if you are a dream he has been waiting for, as if he might never stop. Please never stop. But he does. You feel it first in the stiffness of his shoulders, a heartbeat later. He is tearing himself away, nearly shaking with the effort it takes. His words are hoarse and ragged. This cannot happen. It just did, and not for the first time. Last night I was injured. We both were. Overwhelmed. But today we have no excuse. I didn't need an excuse. It was what I wanted. Something wild and triumphant flashes through his eyes before guilt twists his expression. Princess. Yes, my knight. He flexes his fingers as if being called. Yours has pushed him to the edge of self-control, but his determination returns. It doesn't matter what you want. It does not matter what either of us wants. This is not possible. Abruptly, he turns away from you. I must insist that you get some rest. I am sure the servants have brought food to your rooms. Those walls rise between you once more as he turns back to the forge, but for a moment you think you see his hands shaking. Of course. Thank you for giving me the tour and the lesson. It was my pleasure. You head back to your room, and only to find that someone has left a covered bowl of soup on your table. You settle in and inhale the rich scent. It smells wonderful. Digging in, it tastes even better, every bit as good as Lancelot promised. It almost tastes like home. Just at our nightfall, the old guardsman knocks on your door. Your Highness, the king has been spotted upon the road. Arthur? You rush down the stairs to the castle's entrance just in time to see Lancelot throwing open the doors and Arthur, stepping inside, flanked by a cluster of knights. You've made it. The king clasps his best friend's hand and they share a grin until Arthur spots you. Guinevere, you're safe. And you look breathtaking. He drinks in the sight of you like a man parched, but there's a sudden flicker of recognition as he notices the colors upon your gown. He glances between you and Lancelot before his smile returns. The colors of Joyous Gard suit you well. I greet him with a curtsy. You offer him a deep curtsy, smiling. I trust all is well now in Camelot, if you are here. As well as it can be, though I confess most of my worry has been reserved for you. We're both well, apart from small scuffle on the road. Well, then I am relieved. We rode after you as quickly as we dared. I had to get here. Yes, the king set quite the pace on the road. Never seen him so impatient, and I remember his teenage years. Gawain and Kay brush the dust off their cloaks as Lancelot bows to his king. It is very good to see you again, my king. Lancelot's expression is oddly serious. You press a hand to your lips, remembering the feeling of his mouth on yours as he gazes at the man you're betrothed to. Your king? How about old friend? Of course, I bid you welcome, my friend. But what news out of Camelot? What happened after we left? Arthur's expression turns serious as he hands his gloves to a servant. We defeated the assassins, of course. Those who weren't slain fled the battlefield. We mounted a pursuit, but found only their discarded disguises. We ran into another group of them as we rode away from the city. They were lying in wait. An ambush. And the one assassin I did slay died in the same fashion as Lady Bruceson. This is most troubling, and is the fact that neither I nor anyone else in the city seems to have been their true target. Kay, Gawain, would you see to our horses? Of course, brother. So long as Gawain doesn't get tripped by a child on the way. I don't understand why all the would-be squires in this place always want to fight me. They lead the horses inside a courtyard, leaving you alone with the king and your sworn knight. You're right, Arthur. I fear they were after me. I only wish I knew why. There may be some who do not wish to see Camelot and Carmelite united by our marriage. Or it could have been something to do with her visions. That thought frightens me more. I have no idea who else could possibly know. Arthur steps closer and cradles both of your hands in his. Really? You've let everyone know about your visions? Are you serious? Anyone could have eavesdropped. No matter what, no harm will come to you. You lean against him, drawing comfort and strength from his touch. In the city. Most of the knights of the Round Table remain, and the city seems at peace, until we locate the true threat from Guinevere's visions. And Camelot is safe for now. Yes, and I aim to keep it that way for the few short days until our wedding. But for Camelot to remain safe, I must learn more about the new pieces of my vision that Morgana helped reveal. If we ever see a sign of that comet, I fear my vision may be on the verge of coming true. And the shadow on the battlefield felt like it was behind all the chaos. We still have no idea who they are. I have summoned Merlin back from his travels. He may be our best chance for the real answers. No one is riding anywhere tonight. You're exhausted, Arthur. Traveling at night is perilous. That is not an argument I'm gonna win, is it? Your best friend can be rather stubborn when our safety is concerned. Indeed. And unless you are hungry, let me escort you to the guest rooms. He leads you both upstairs, and Arthur immediately turns towards the room you claimed earlier. I'm sorry, my friend, but your usual chamber's taken. Princess Guinevere's comfort took priority after our long journey. As it should. But now I am at a loss of where to stay. Lancelot shifts uneasily. If you would like to be close to your betrothed, I can offer you a room next to hers, or you can take my second best guest room at the end of the hall. I would not wish to impose, Guinevere. Where would you like me to stay? In a room fit for a royal. You've had a long journey. I would not wish to deprive you of your royal comforts. True, with Lancelot's famously sparse comforts, one should take everything one can get. I do not need any more judgment on my living conditions today. Then I give you reprieve. We all have earned some rest. I bid you both good night. Pats Lancelot on the shoulder and smiles at you before heading to the room down the hall. You stand there with Lancelot gazing at one another until he finally breaks free himself. Good night, Princess Guinevere. Good night, Lancelot. You retire to your room, closing the heavy door behind you. But not long after you've climbed into bed, a knock rattles the door's metal fittings. In just a moment. When you open the door, Arthur stares down at you, his armor gone, his expression fraught with concern. I hope I'm not disturbing you. Not at all. Is everything alright? He swallows hard before answering. No, I hated sending you away from Camelot. I was so worried while we were apart, not knowing if you were hurt or if you'd been separated from Lancelot. I'm safe, Arthur, I promise. But you nearly were not. Would you allow me inside so I may make sure you're well? His words clearly convey his agitation, but as you study his face, another emotion flickers across, a need you have never seen so openly before. I do not wish to be apart from you any longer than I have been. Please, Guinevere, I would stay the night with you if you'd have me. He's not simply asking for a moment of your time, but offering something you have not yet shared, a night together in the wake of dangers you have faced. Inviting him will take your relationship to an intimate level. Interesting. You know the rules. Once it gets to a spicy level, we'll have to turn it off. But otherwise, please stay with me. He smiles and nods. You step back, allowing him entry into your chambers. You should be nervous as you close the door behind him. Thank you. But this is Arthur. Your nerves are tempered by trust, and it's only anticipation that curls into your midsection as he gives you a long, searching look. What is it? I knew Lancelot would keep you safe, but I'm still relieved that you seem unharmed. Seem? You take a step towards him, halving the distance between you. Arthur, I'm fine. Still. He also takes a step, eliminating that distance completely. I'd like to be absolutely sure. Oh, and what do you propose? An exploration, a thorough one. He takes your hand and gently raises it to his mouth, pressing a lingering kiss to the back of it. Your hand seems to be unharmed. I told you. He turns your hand, bearing the inside of your wrist. He looks up, his gaze locking with yours as he brushes another kiss to the sensitive skin there. The rest of the words come out, faint, breathless. That I'm fine. His eyes never leave yours as his lips trail up the inside of your forearm, leaving tingles in their wake. So you seem, at least thus far. If you want to truly be thorough, you should kiss my neck. Oh? Would that be here? His mouth grazes the side of your neck. Or here? As his lips reach the secret spot behind your ear, you feel the warm heat of his tongue on your skin and you gasp. Arthur, what do you want, my darling Guinevere? You press your mouth and your body to his, shivering when his fingers tighten on your hips. Desire unfurls within you, a night blooming flower opening to the gentle kiss of the moonlight. Your clothes pulls away, but only far enough to draw his shirt over his head. For a moment, you can only stare at his exposed skin, enjoying the play of flexing muscles as he moves. Now I'm overdressed. I can fix that, you know. Oh, I know. You reach out to stroke his collarbone. I have a vast amount of faith in you, Arthur. He tugs at your dress, loosening it until the fabric slides down. Baring your shoulders, Arthur caresses every inch of skin he exposes, and retraces the same path again, this time with his lips. As you can see, I don't have a scratch on me. His gaze wanders over you with awe. So it is true, but that's the last thing on my mind right now. Arthur redoubles his kisses with new fervor. You clutch at his shoulders, your fingers digging into the hard muscles beneath his warm skin. Arthur, please. You tumble to the bed together. Arthur looms over you, his gaze dark and intense. You shiver and arch up against him as his hand slides between your thighs. Ruh-roh! With equal tenderness, Arthur's gaze wanders across the curves of your body like a caress. His lips part in wonder as he drinks in the sight of you. You run your hands up from the small of his back, memorizing every contour until your hand reaches the nape of his neck. You pull him into a deep kiss, and his hand presses against you fervently. Let me. We got right up to the moment. Afterward, and it wasn't that long of a moment either, Arthur strokes your back as you, breathing slowly, returns to normal. I'm thankful you let me spend the night with you. Thankful is not the only emotion you're feeling. Wonder, joy, passion. The list is too long to describe how someone as special as you makes me feel. I only hope I was everything you wanted. That and more. Arthur tenderly plants a kiss on the nape of your neck. There's something I need to ask you. Your trip here, I can't stop thinking about how I wasn't there for you. Were you frightened? Honestly, I was mostly worried about you. About me. Of course, we left you in a city overrun by assassins. What if you'd been gravely injured, or worse? I can't even think about it. He lifts your face with a soft touch under your chin. Then don't. We made it. That's all that matters. You curl up against him, sheltered in his arms. And Guinevere? I want you to know that this, tonight, means more than I have words for. But I promise to make no demands of you because of it. No assumptions about what this means for our future. Arthur, you've been through hell. This was a stolen moment, and even if it were, it's all we ever have, it will be enough. It will be everything to me. I'm glad, but what if I wanted you to make some assumptions? It would be a fair assumption, you know, thinking that perhaps I enjoy your company. He kisses you softly with a warmth that speaks to the intimacies you've shared. Then I'll simply say, in case it isn't abundantly clear, that I enjoy yours as well. I'm quite fond of you. Then let us indulge in our fondness without reservation. You lapse into a comfortable silence that gives way to a sound, restful sleep. The next morning you ride out of Joyous Gard with Arthur and Lancelot. You urge your mount faster and patient to get back to the city. Someone's eager to be on the road. I'm eager to get to the bottom of my vision. And we still have a wedding to plan. As Arthur smiles, a smudge in the clear blue sky catches your attention and you look up. There, sailing through the pristine sky, is a red comet. The red comet from your latest vision of Camelot's doom. No. The comet. It's on its way towards Camelot. If it was just passing over the castle in your last vision, then we're running out of time. Ruh-roh! Alright, without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you enjoy the content and you want more of it. It'd be great to have you here. It'd be great to have you as part of this community and this family that I have built over these many, many years. And without further ado, thanks for watching. I'll get up chapter 11 ASAP. Gonna take a break from doing the whole choices thing tonight. But I got many, many things I gotta be doing, so no rest for the weary, as they say, and no rest for me whatsoever. Really, as the minutes pass by, a tick-tock constantly in my head, and knowing that this is the end of December. Let's put it that way. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Without further ado, love your beautiful faces. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.